name. My name is Melvyn Hayes, but with the title of the character, who was known as, and I'll say this very slowly, Gunner Shorthouse. I really don't know. I mean, I thought I'd been, years beforehand, I'd been asked to be in one. I don't even remember what that one was. But when this one came along, I thought, yes, please. It'd be nice to add it to the list of those things that I should have done one of those, or I did, you know. And it was fun. It was a giggle. I mean, not much money. I didn't do it for the money, otherwise I'd have died of starvation. But the amazing thing about when you talk about money, well, I do, about Peter Rogers. Peter, bless him, God rest his soul, said very famous line. He said, "I will give my actors anything they want except money." And then when he died, who did he leave his money to? The Actors Benevolent Fund. So he turned up trumps. If I remember rightly, and remember this was a lifetime ago, we did them all at Pinewood Studios, inside and out, exteriors, outside. That's all I remember about the locations, except there were a lot of pretty girls in it, and they were great fun. About the storyline, well, it was about a bunch of silly idiots being silly. I mean, it was like the names of the characters, for example, Able, Willing, and Ready, and Shorthouse. It was just an excuse for a pile of jokes, an excuse for people like my mate Winsdor Davis to just get out there. And I mean, and he shouted so loudly, it was so noisy. But there was no storyline as such. There never was there? Was there ever a storyline in Carry On? I don't know. But no, that's about all I remember. Well, not only they're a bunch of very good actors and a bunch of very good comedians, they were lovely people, and it was fun going to work every day. I mean, I don't think actors should call it work. I mean, standing holding a dummy rifle and pretending to fire off something and cannonballs and things, that's not work. That was fun. That was great fun, which made up for not getting any money. Well, he did get some money, I think, but I don't remember. It wasn't very much. I think I'd spent it by the time the end of the day had arrived. But actually, I don't know whether you know it, but some actors over the years have actually done episodes of those films for nothing. Did you know that? But you're pretending you didn't know it. And of course it was. I think people like Jack Douglas did it for about 4p once, because he just liked doing it. I think people like, was it Leslie Phillips? I think got £100 or something. Yeah, one of my favourite scenes was when Sergeant, whoever he was, came into the barracks, and Jack Douglas picked me up and stuck my head in the ceiling as if he was sweeping and using my hair as a broom. That was quite fun, except I thought I was going to break my back and kill myself. Apart from that, it was good fun. That was a funny scene. See, the trouble with some of the scenes, if I might say, might be so bold, and that is that Winsdor Davis, one of our funniest men, bless him, finished the scene shouting, "Shut up." And that was funny, except that the next day we did another scene and he would finish the scene with the "shut up" again. So if you were not too careful, you had a few too many shut-ups. Well, it's funny actually, because at the moment I'm writing my book, and I have been doing so for the last 36 years. I only started to write it so that my children could know what Daddy did away from home, and why he wasn't there for their school events and things. And Winsdor and I worked a lot together. We did pantomimes, we did the London Palladium, we did summer season, we did tours, and working with them on this sort of the relationship of Gloria and Sergeant Major and Shorthouse and Sergeant Major were two completely different things, because there was nothing camp about Shorthouse. In fact, there was nothing about Shorthouse that I found very enjoyable anyway. It was just a squirt, but there you go. Do you know something? I don't remember that. I've seen pictures of it. I don't remember it at all. I mean, Carry On Laughing was a very clever commercial venture, I think, where you take films that you've shot and you take clips out of those films and make more films. And it's a very clever thing. So I think I was dressed as a Scotsman with a beard. But the trouble is, how many years are we going back? I know this was something like the end of the 70s, wasn't it? Was it 76? But those that are alive, no. See, it's a funny business, acting. I mean, you work very close, like a family, with people in a film or a television, or sometimes 2-3 years in the West End of London doing a play. And then you might not see them for 20 years. But when you do see them 20 years later, you carry on the conversation as if it was last week. There's no other business like it. And like there was no other films like the Carry-Ons. It's a unique, and that's why probably during this last COVID, the last couple of years, none of us worked. But unless you were lucky enough to get into things like Casualty or any of those hospital things where you could be in there with a cold and nobody would notice. How long did it take? About 5 weeks. I think it was about 5 weeks, because like no other film, every other film you do, the director will say, okay, let's go, very good, but let's go again. Let's go again. On this one take, and if you were very, very, very lucky, you got 2 takes. So you had to make sure that you were right every time, that you got it right. You weren't the one that, messed it up, because time was money. Film costs money, and every piece of film that you waste is the budget's there. Because I think the budget for this Carry On was about 250,000, which is like 4pence. I mean, when you think of today, films cost millions and millions and millions to make. And if you look very closely when they're on the television there, you see there's about 9 different producers. All it means is they're not really producers, they just put money in it. I mean, things do go wrong, but with Carry On, when things go wrong, they leave them in, because if it gets, see, this is the thing, if it's a comedy and it gets a laugh, it's in. I mean, to Peter Rogers, our producer, and I've forgotten the director's name, to Gerald Thomas and Peter Rogers, laughs were money in the bank. So it was so important. And if you got it in the first take, if you got the laugh in the first take, and that was it, print it. Why do another one? I mean, when you see nowadays on Talking Pictures, for example, those old Charlie Chaplin films, I mean, he'll do 100 takes. 150 takes. I don't know how they could afford it or how they did it, but maybe it didn't cost it. They weren't doing it on film, but they would go on and on and on and on until not only they perfected it, they turned it into a different scene. But with Peter and Gerald, one take, maybe two if you're lucky. What do I do now? I wait for the phone to go and for my agent to say, Melvyn, Hollywood wants you again. I work. I'm working, doing some voiceovers. I'm up for a couple of films. I don't know. Let's make another Carry On. Why not? It's my pleasure, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's been fun.
Thank you.